Yo, what is up guys? Crunch here, and I'm your coach of the St. Louis Moltres. I'm bringing you week 6 of the BDL today. Apologies for the massive delay. Week 4 was a forfeit win for me because of scheduling issues, and then week 5 was my bye, and then the last 3 weeks I've just been busy, so I have not been able to get around to record this video. Well, I'm here now, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. I was played against Greasel for week 6. He had a very scary team, especially considering Komodo, Mew, and Gyarados all set up, and especially behind Light Screen and Reflect is a very scary team to play against. So my goal here was to bring a very stally set of Roserade. Goldingo was here for the Gyarados. Rotom was here to wall the Tinkaton. As you can see later on, it really didn't end up mattering. But yeah, and then I think Mamosan was Choice Scarf. Apologies, it's been a very long time since I've played, so let's just jump straight into the battle. So as you can see, turn 1, I go into Roserade just to scout out what he'll do here. I had no clue what set the Komodo was. I was expecting either Stealth Rock or like just straight setting up, but I had no clue what the set was. So here, I think I just go for a Leech Seed. Yes, I just go for a Leech Seed because just to scout out. He ends up bringing Flamethrower, which doesn't do much damage since I was a very tanky set of Roserade. But it was very interesting to see that Komodo was a special set for sure. So, or at least a mixed set from what I'd seen so far. So Flamethrower does 29%. So I just go for Giga Drain to scout out what he does. I have no clue what he does here, and unfortunately this week I had not brought Dazzling Gleam, so I could not knock out the Komodo. So I just went for the Giga Drain. It does very little damage, but the recovery with the Leech Seed is enough for it to be a threat to the Komodo. So here I guess he's gonna switch out. So then I go for the Giga Drain. No, actually, I apologize. I take that back. Here, what I should have done is gone for the Substitute, because he was going to switch out no matter what, or at least I believe his best option was to switch out, considering that the recovery is basically not worth it, especially because I had Black Sludge as well. So my play here was to go for Substitute. The problem with I couldn't go Sludge Bomb here is because Komodo could have been immune due to Bulletproof. So I didn't want to risk the Sludge Bomb not being, not affecting the Komodo. So I just went for the Gear Drain here. Fortunately, we get a crit. Unfortunately for Grimmsnarl, as you'll see, it doesn't really matter. But here, my play is just to go for a Sludge Bomb. Even with the Light Screen, doesn't matter. He goes for the Parting Shot, and I expect him to switch out, so then I believe I go for the Substitute. Yeah, I just go for the Substitute. So here, Tinkaton, he's going to crack my sub no matter what, but as long as I had the sub up, it's okay. So here, I'm in a great position to just go for the Leech Seed. Fortunately, here he just goes for a Swords Dance, which stalls it out a turn for me. He goes for Rock Slide here. It kits out my my Substitute, but it doesn't really matter at this point because +2 is going to knock me out regardless. So here my play instead of going for Giga Drain should have just been to click Substitute again, because he can't beat me as long as I have Substitute up, because with Black Sludge and Leech Seed recovery, and if I ever do go for Giga Drain, then it works out for me. So here there was 2 options he could have done. One, I get to pop the Air Balloon, which is good for my Choice Scarf Mamoswine. But if he goes into Gyarados here, it's still okay, because even if he sets up Dragon Dance, I can go for Sludge Bomb, or I can go for another Substitute, because Ice Fang shouldn't be able to kill me from full. But here I switch out. I should have clicked Substitute again, but it was a miss. I wasn't thinking that at the time. But Quagsire switches in, takes the Gigaton Hammer actually very decently well. So here, Tinkaton basically has to switch out, like in fear of the Earthquake. But I go for the Stealth Rocks instead, predicting the switch out. Here, as I said before, I didn't know what set the Komodo was. I just switched into Rotom Heat because that's my play all day to tank any hits. And especially considering that the only move he'd shown was Flamethrower, I was very confident in going into Rotom Heat. He goes for Toxic here, which completely threw me off guard, to be honest. But yeah, he goes for Clinging Scales here. I don't necessarily know why, but I guess that was just the only move that could do that much damage. I go for a Volt Switch because I have nothing to hit this Komodo with. Unfortunately, I didn't have Will-O-Wisp either, and even if I did have Will-O-Wisp, it really would not have mattered that much. So yeah, I just go for the Volt Switch here. I go into Goldingo. Here, is where I start to lose the game for sure. Here, I think I should have just gone back. I know for sure that I should have just gone back into Roserade. Because if you've seen before, the flamethrower damage was only 29%. So even with the rocks up, it's okay. I come in, it's not, I only lose, what, 12.5% on my health. And then I just go for another Leech Seed, and then I sub up again. Like, that's about it. I always win that game of, like, who's going to out-sustain. But here I go into Goldingo thinking, oh, I'll just go for the kill. So he goes for the flamethrower, but I knock him out with Dazzling Gleam. He has the Roselli Berry, which the crit I believe mattered. I don't know for a fact, but it was a really good bring on his part, the Roselli Berry. It's just unfortunate that I got 2 crits. But basically at this point, Gyarados just cleans up, because I no longer have any answers to a Dragon Dance, especially a Dragon Dance Moxie Gyarados, because my Goldingo doesn't outspeed, and nothing I have with Mamoswine can kill. So here he goes into Mew, fortunately. He kills the Goldingo, because I figure, okay, whatever happens, he's going down regardless. So now I go into Mamoswine. So here I have 2 options. I can go for knockoff, or I can just go for an attacking move. I believe I just go for the knockoff. Yeah, I just go for the knockoff, because whatever comes in does not appreciate a knockoff. I could have gone for an Earthquake, but with Gyarados still alive, it's very risky. So I just go for the knockoff. I switch into Rotom Heat, and he goes into Gyarados. And at this point, it's just over, pretty much, because Waterfall is going to knock me out here. He has Moxie, which is actually terrible for me. He gets the +1. Now nothing takes a hit anymore. Like, he goes for Dragon Dance. Here I should have subbed, because he's going to outspeed. But, like, at this point in the game, he's +2. Like, everything's just going to knock me out. So I'm going to end up going down, because +1 outspeeds everything. So even with Intimidate, doesn't matter. Yeah, he's just going to Ice Fang me to death. Ice Fang, Waterfall, and especially at +3, it doesn't matter. So unfortunately, we're going to go down 5-0 to Greasel this week. I definitely misplay with my Roserade set and my Goldingo. I should have definitely gone for a more balanced level of play this week. It was basically just me misplaying a bunch with the Roserade and not really scouting out what was happening. But once that Gyarados had 1 Dragon Dance sub, the game was over regardless, simply for the fact that I had nothing that outsped a +1 Gyarados, even with the choice. Like, if I had choice scarfed the Goldingo, then it would have been an option, but it still would not have outsped a +1 Gyarados. So it's unfortunate that we lose that way, but we do end up losing 5-0 to Greasel. GG's to Greasel. It was a good game. It was a learning experience for sure, but now I know the level of playstyle I'll need if I do end up facing Greasel in the playoffs. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Week 7 and Week 8 battles are going to be recorded soon, and I will post those as soon as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.